entire Middle East is being bombed right now.
United States and Israel have launched airstrikes across Iran.
US bombers are hyperactive.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran.
And Israel is in a multi-front war and global oil supply chains are breaking.
Oil and gas prices spiked today as the regional conflict escalated and shipping was disrupted in the Strait of Hormuz.
Everyone is asking the same question: are we watching the start of World War III? These attacks were something we have never seen before. The response has been terrible. Normal city areas, places like Dubai, Doha, are now target. But while the news station focus on the explosion, they are missing the real story, the why. Why is this all happening? Today, we are going to look at the timeline that led us to the edge of World War III, because here is what nobody is talking about to understand why these bombs are dropping in 2026. You can't just look at Tehran or Jerusalem, you have to look at the US, the Washington DC, and specifically one powerful former oil executive currently sitting in the Trump cabinet. And I promise you, by the end of the video, we will link the death of the Iranian Supreme Leader directly to the skyrocketing stock price of a specific American fracking company. And when you see the connection, it might change how you view patriotism in foreign policy. So stay tuned. The spark for this war began in 2025. The main issue was Iran's nuclear program. Now, nuclear enrichment is a term thrown around a lot, but what does enrichment actually mean? We need a quick science lesson to understand how serious this is. Natural uranium dug out of the ground is mostly made of two types or isotopes: uranium-238, which is safe and stable, and uranium-235, which is hot stuff and can create a nuclear explosion. When uranium is mined, it is composed of 99% of safe stuff and less than 1% of that dangerous stuff. You can't build bomb with that 1% stuff. So enrichment is the process of using massive machines to spin that uranium and physically separate that 1% dangerous part. So to run a nuclear power plant for electricity, you only need 3 to 5% of it. By 2025, Iran had done something truly scary. They had reached 60% enrichment. While not yet bomb level, which is 90%, the jump from 60 to 90% was not so far. Iran was standing right at the finish line. This created a deadly threat for Israel, because Israel is a very small country. A single nuclear bomb would destroy them completely. So to counter this threat, they have a doctrine established in 1981 in Iraq and 2007 in Syria that they will never allow a regional rival to obtain a bomb. And in what Israel calls the Ring of Fire, Iran was providing funding to armed rebel groups around Israel like Hezbollah and Houthis, and the situation becomes impossible for Israel to accept. The stage was set to attack first. In early 2026, the fear became real. In a giant coordinated attack, US and Israeli forces launched a deep strike into Iran. This wasn't about blowing up nuclear machines which filtered out that dangerous part of uranium. It was an attack to take out the very top leaders. It was a total success. The entire top level of Iran's military and religious leaders was gone in a single night. The world held its breath, but Iran did not collapse. The surviving elements of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps activated their backup plan. So Iran responded by launching a massive swarms of ballistic missiles and suicide drones. Their target were not just military bases, though bases in Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain and UAE were hit hard. The war was purposely pushed into normal cities and businesses. We saw unbelievable videos of drones flying around the Burj Khalifa. Major international airports across Middle East were immediately shut down. The world's biggest travel hub turned into a ghost town.
Very silent, guys. As you can see, no one is there outside. Even that side that was in Dubai Mall, and the fountain. But today, even one person, nobody's there. The road is silent, and the sky is dark.
The message from Iran was clear: if we are going down, we are dragging the whole region down with us. This is where the normal news stops with the war, the nukes, the missile strikes. But to understand the true why, first press the hype button and the subscribe button. If we look at the map and look at the oil, Iran sits right next to the Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world oil passes through this tiny narrow water route every single day. Controlling this spot gives Iran the power to essentially blackmail the whole global economy. And here is where the new shocking master plan come into focus, a plan that seemed to be run by the current Trump administration, meant to make the United States the absolute king of global energy. Let's follow the money and the oil. To understand this, we have to look at the master plan that happened in 3 exact steps. Step 1, deter Russian energy. The first move made by the President Donald Trump, he used proper financial force. He placed massive heavy sanctions directly on Russia's biggest oil companies. He also threatened to heavily tax any friendly countries like India if they dared to keep buying Russian oil. This order worked perfectly. It made it almost impossible for the most of the world to buy Russian oil. With just one signature, he knocked out a giant rival completely out of the global market. Step 2, secure Venezuelan reserve. Now with Russia pushed out, the US needed to lock down a backup supply for the world to execute its plan. This is the big event the world mostly ignored because they were so busy looking at the Middle East. In January 2026, saying that they were fixing the region, the Trump administration sent the US military straight into the Venezuela and captured its leader Nicolas Maduro. But they didn't just change the government, they took the ultimate prize. Venezuela has the largest amount of oil reserve on this planet. The US forcefully took it over, turning it into a protected zone run entirely by the American companies. Step 3, Iran strike. Now look at the timeline. First, US pushed Russia out of the market, then the US grabs the massive oil supply in Venezuela, and then right afterward they launched a military strike that kills the Iranian Supreme Leader. This purposely throws the Middle East, the world's other main oil source, into a war that stops oil from leaving the region safely. The result isn't just a war, it's total global supply control to create a monopoly over oil by blocking the Russia, taking over Venezuela's massive oil fields, and making sure the Middle East is too dangerous to export oil. The United States has made itself the absolute, undisputed oil ruler or primary oil supplier of the world. Now let's go back to the promise I made at the start of the video. Who is planning all this? Who gets rich from this? This is Chris Wright. He is the current United States Secretary of Energy. Wright is not a normal politician. He is a long-time oil and gas boss. Before running the Department of Energy, he was the founder and CEO of Liberty Energy, a massive oil drilling and fracking company based in Denver, United States. In his cabinet role, Wright controls a $50 billion budget and America's emergency oil supply. He is the main planner behind the US government's push to drill for as much as oil possible. He works with the people like Interior Secretary Doug Burgum, whose family owns a land used for oil drilling, and powerful advisors like oil billionaire Harold Hamm. So this is the government run by the oil industry for the oil industry. Now look at the timeline. This is the stock price of Chris Wright old company Liberty Energy. Over the past 6 months ending today, it is going through the roof, tripled in less than 6 months. When you create a global shortage by blocking rivals and starting wars, the world desperately needs American oil, and the drilling services provided by the company like Liberty became incredibly valuable and becomes essential at any price. We were told that the war with Iran was about stopping Iran from making nuclear bombs and defending our allies like Israel from existential threats.
They attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas.
But looking at the chronology of events, first blocking Russia, then taking over Venezuela's oil field, and then triggering a war in the Middle East, disrupting global supply, shows a darker and cold reality of capitalism. Is this World War III, or is it simply a violent corporate hostile takeover? Before you go, I need you to answer one massive question in the comments. We hear the slogan MAGA, Make America Great Again, all the time. President Trump promised an America First policy and total energy dominance. Is this what MAGA looks like in the real world? Crushing Russia, taking over Venezuela, and letting the Middle East burn just so the US can be the absolute king of the world? Is this the ultimate genius America First move, or the most dangerous game ever played that may lead to the World War III? I want your raw thoughts in the comments down below, and tell me down below the next video idea you want me to cover. Thank you for watching.